So just for my many viewers, for all 5 of my subscribers, Sherry, actually, I think I've got 7 now.
Oh yeah.
I know, I'm like basically famous. Just want to tell us who you are and where you're from, where you live.
Yeah. My name is Sherry Buroker. I am from Calgary, Alberta, and I've lived here basically my whole life. But I guess ethnically, I'm part Sudanese, part Congolese, and I was born in Egypt. So
What?
that's yeah.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I
Oh
was
my
born in
God.
Cairo. So yeah.
That's
And then, yeah, we moved here when I was teeny tiny, so like 3 years old. So I don't remember anything. But last fall, my mom and sister actually got to go. Uh, they basically went to Paris, Belgium, Egypt, like a whole bunch of places. Yeah, and left me here.
of course. Yeah.
So,
Why would they bring you?
I'm not bitter, you know.
No, of
Um,
courit's
yeah, no, but they had a really good time out there, and it was my mom's first time seeing her sister in 26 years, which I was like, it's crazy. But yeah, that's me. That's where I'm from. A little bit about
excellent.
yeah.
And how long have you been doing YouTube stuff? Because I know it's for a while, but I don't
Cool.
actually know.
The most embarrassing very beginning for me was when I was in grade 10. So I was 15 years old, and I used to post. I used to post, and I wasn't very good at it back then. I used to post covers, so I would sing over like an audio track that I found like karaoke on
That's
YouTube.
amazing.
So 15 years old, so I'm turning 25 this year. It's so weird to say, but it's been 10 years on and off. I transitioned into posting like more lifestyle vlog posts with my husband, Ian, your cousin. And we just happen to be something that is popular, apparently. You know, us being an interracial couple, it was something that gained a lot of traction, a lot of popularity on YouTube. Mostly, like if you check our demographics in the analytics, um, they're mostly people from the southern states who are, you know, our subscriber base and our following that are, you know, the people who comment and follow us on there.
A very specific geographical location.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, and I think what attracts them is the fact that, you know, I just happen to be a Black woman with a white man, and I guess the hashtag for that is BWWM, which is really uncommon down in the southern states. Like, you don't really get to see very many interracial couples that involve the woman being a woman of color, and the guy being a white guy. Just because some things down there haven't settled in terms of racism and just the clashes of culture, which you think, you know, we're in 2020, like that kind of thing isn't something that you would expect still.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've gotten comments and stuff that say, like, you know, my family would never accept me being with a white person, or, you know, like, that's, you know, it's a dream of mine and stuff like that, where it's kind of really weird to think, like, so outside my scope of life, that I'm like, this is happening somewhere still. And yeah, it's kind of shocking. So that's been really interesting to discover through our journey on YouTube. So yeah,
that is not something I would have expected, because like I don't know. I think it's not so much like for me at least, it's not so much the fact that I don't think that stuff exists here, because it obviously does. I think it's just like all of my social circles like would just never blink twice at any of that.
exactly.
So, yeah, and so it's just like, okay, that's just something I wouldn't have expected, is a dream of mine. Like,
exactly.
wild.
It is. It's so wild. It's just not, like you're saying, it's not something you would expect to ever come across. And then when
No.
you're face to face with it and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, okay, this is happening for some people in the world. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy. Well, that explains everything, helps explain a lot of the stuff going on in the States right now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how do you feel about the Black Lives Matter movement? How are you feeling about it?
Well, this week has been a huge roller coaster of emotions for me. Personally, I didn't really ever, I mean, the beginning of like the whole movement when it did start to become a thing years ago, um, I didn't really understand, I guess, the the real message behind what Black Lives Matter meant and why we needed it and why we should support it. Um, but that's only because, again, me being so close-minded to how some people do live their lives in other places in the world where Black lives don't necessarily get the same privilege as other people. And when it comes to the justice system and just classes in terms of like economically and socially. Um, I guess growing up where I have grown up, even though that doesn't take away from the whole experience for everyone, I was very fortunate to experience my black life,
Yeah.
very, very equal, you know, thing throughout all cultures and all people of every skin color my whole life. And I feel like that's why I was able to pursue a relationship with a person who just happens to be white without blinking or batting an eye. Um, so when it happened this week after George Floyd's death a few weeks back, I think a lot of stuff started to bubble up inside me. What I feel like happened is there's this outcry of a lot of people who just happen to be like me, Black. And I immediately felt like the responsibility of, being the one to educate my family and the people around me as to why this is happening and what we can do and how to be, educated and actually, engaged in what's going on. So I took that pressure on quite early on, and it was really overwhelming. The biggest part of all of this was I feel like for a lot of people, what they were forgetting is that someone died, and that's kind of what sparked the initiation of bringing Black Lives Matter to the forefront again. The way that George Floyd was killed was very, very, very traumatizing, and it shook, I feel like, everyone to their core. What I'm seeing now is people come together of all, race and every color, and what I'm experiencing in Canada is watching, the Indigenous people kind of come alongside, even though they're experiencing their own oppression up here, and say that we support you and we want to, be here for your cause. And that's, to me, the most amazing thing I think I've ever experienced in my adult life, is watching this unity and watching this in a time of like hardship and like during COVID, and how all this has kind of just ramped up to like almost like the climax. It's like, okay, let's 2020, let's figure this out. Um, but I felt like just like I said, a roller coaster of emotions, so many lows, but also like really awesome highs, because when you do see people come together, it's kind of like it restores your faith in humanity. And yeah, sorry, that was a really long answer.
Oh, that's awesome.